As you all know, inside Sonic.EXE Disaster Eclipsed, there are currently 5 EXEs. As you know, there's Colossus, there's Sonic.EXE, there's Tails Doll, there's Nexus, and of course, the Lord X. And I was thinking, which one of them is the strongest and most broken inside of the game? Which, believe me, I think we all know the answer of. In today's video, we're going to be telling you how to play the most broken EXE inside Sonic.EXE Disaster Eclipsed, telling you how to beat them, how to play them, and most importantly, how to win every single match, because that's how strong they are. Before we begin, I want to say make sure to like and subscribe so you can get more content like this. But anyways, let's begin with who even is this EXE? Shocking, absolutely nobody. The strongest EXE inside of TD Eclipsed, and I'm pretty sure every other TD game or just Sonic.EXE game in general, is Colossus. That's right, the big K himself is the most broken and strongest EXE inside the game. Before we go over the abilities though, let's look at his attack, which is kind of crazy. The normal damage amount inside of these games is normally around 40, maybe like 50 if it's high end. He does 65. That's right, he two-shots almost every single character inside of this game. So starting off with his first ability, he has Charge. How Charge works is you start running in a straight line in the direction that you're aiming. If you hit anybody, you deal 25 damage to them, and if you hit a wall while grabbing people, you deal an additional 10 for a total of 35 damage. This also has no limit, so that means you can grab the entire lobby if they're all standing together, which happens a lot more often than you think. Now, this ability is really strong when he comes into terms with it, because it makes every single character except for Medals one-shot to Colossus. 35 plus 65 equals 100, so as long as you can hit this ability once, they're already in one-shot range, which is pretty strong for him. The second ability that you get is Grab. Grab is insanely busted and insanely overpowered. How this ability works is when you use it, you do a miniature lunge. Not like your attacks type of lunge, but it's pretty short. If you hit a survivor, you grab them and start choking them out for 5 damage per second. You're able to punch them 5 times each time for 15. So this means you can do upwards of 75 damage with the single ticks over and over again. And if things happen, you are able to also throw the survivor, which when you throw them, if they hit a wall, deals 25 damage, and anyone who is hit takes 20 damage as well. Now, the reason why this ability is so busted, other than the fact that you do insane damage and you're able to hit even more people by throwing the corpse, is the fact that you can one-shot any person in the game with this. When you grab somebody, there is no way for you to actually release your grab. This means as long as someone doesn't go and revive their teammate, or as long as someone doesn't stun you, you can hold them until not only their main HP drains, but their downed HP drains as well. So that means you can full kill them at the very beginning of a match as long as none of the teammates can get to you. This ability is incredibly broken because of its short cooldown around 12 seconds, because you're able to spam this thing, and even if you grab something for like 2 seconds and punch him even once, you're already in one-shot range again. Now on to his third ability. This one is not as crazy, but it's still pretty strong, which is his block. How block works is when you use it for around 2.5 seconds, you put up your arms, and if anything hits you, you either block or counter. What I mean by counters, for example, if you get hit by Knuckles' punch, instead of just blocking, you actually hit them back for around 10 damage normally. But you can also block if it's a high attack, which knocks you and the other person back, but knocks you back less, and you're actually most likely able to get hit on them before they get back up. Overall, this sounds pretty good. There's a lot of abilities in this game you can block. I'm pretty sure all of them except for one of Blaze's. But the thing that comes crazy is if you actually land your block, it's a 3-second cooldown. That's right, as long as you land your blocks, you're able to keep using them over and over again. If a team has the IQs of the potato bug, you're able to block every single ability inside of the game. Not only that, if you get hit by Medals' grapple or Rouge's grappling hook, you actually pull them towards you instead of you towards them. So it's basically like you're grabbing them towards you. And then his final ability is Indicator, which I'm pretty sure every indicator in this game has the same cooldown and the same time up, so there's not really much to write home about. Now that you've heard his entire kit, you must be agreeing with me. This guy is like next level. Already, each ability on their own does sound really strong, but when you put it all together, this is a moving tank of mass destruction and annihilation. The only downside that Colossus does have is his slow speed. Surprising that the character that can two-shot everybody is really slow, but out of all the EXEs, he's probably 1 or 2 speeds slower than the rest of them, and is a little bit hard to catch up to survivors if you're just running. What I mean by if you're just running, turns out if you use your attack inside of this game, the lunge is so large that it's faster than normally running. So you're about as fast as many EXE. So don't worry about, oh, he's the slowest, because it does not affect him in the slightest. In fact, I think he becomes the fastest EXE somehow. So, you know, there's just all ups, no downs. What do you even do against this guy? Now, after mentioning all of this, when you're playing Colossus, there are some things you have to do. If you're just spamming these abilities, of course, you probably maybe get 1 or 2 people. In order to clean wipe lobbies really easily, you have to like predict the opponents. If you played a few matches against a Knuckle and you know they're really block heavy, or even a Sonic is a dodge heavy, make sure you run up to them and just don't do anything. This works for all EXEs, but with Colossus, you really have to read your opponents, because if you miss your abilities, it just isn't a fun time. Not to mention, you really want to go for people like Silver, Sally, and Cream first. Of course, there's the support, so of course they're strong, but against Colossus, they completely counter you. Maybe not Cream so much with a normal heal, but the overheal makes it so certain characters can tank almost 2 additional hits from you for a little bit. You don't have to worry about characters like Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, because those guys, you can just counter everything they have and deal insane damage. So overall, your main idea is to really get rid of the supports first and target anyone who's getting too close to you. And in the beginning of a match, if you see a whole host of people grouped up, it's always important to use your abilities like charge instead of doing like single damage. But once everyone starts breaking away, that's when you mainly want to be using your grab. So if you use grab inside of a large area, you just get knocked back so easily, and there's really no point in using your grab. What you're meant to do is read the room of Colossus, understand your opponents, and then of course absolutely disintegrate everything within a 5-mile radius. But because of all of this, you probably are wondering now, how do you stop this madness? Well, there are very few characters that do a lot against him, but some that actually do a lot are, like I said, Silver, Sally, Sonic, Knuckles, and Vector. These 5 right here are incredibly strong against him. As you know, Silver and Sally, the support, the blocks, the knockback. It really is a hard time for Colossus, especially since you can block his charge with Silver's shield. With Knuckles, since Colossus does have the longest attack cooldown in the game of 1.7 seconds, compared to the normal like around 1.5 seconds, you're able to get hit a lot more times from Knuckles, while also being blocked a lot more often. With Sonic, since he's a speedster and overall just really annoying to deal with, and Colossus is the slowest, if you just use your charge and miss him, he is going to be across the map as soon as you start dealing with him. Then for Vector, because of his ring ability where you check for rings, since you're so slow as him, even though you are technically faster than a lot of the others, they can absolutely destroy your attack or counter push against people by them able to escape by teleporting across the map. The whole idea while playing Survivors against Colossus is to stay as far away as you can from him. You do not want to be anywhere near this man. You want to be running like there is no tomorrow. Anytime I'm playing Silver against Colossus, I am spamming the follow me button and we are escaping to the other side of the map. You know Colossus is so strong, when inside of a video talking about how strong Colossus is, you have to start talking about how to counter him. That's how busted he is. Not only is he getting glazed, but he's also showing that there's very little to do to counter him. Of course, it is kind of easy to beat him if it's a new player. If it's a new player versus a lot of veterans or people who understand how to play characters, then you're not really going to be doing much against him. Colossus has a lot of abilities and a lot of powers that can absolutely decimate new players, while even veterans like myself or some of my friends, we still have to be very cautious around him, since we can just get one tap and eviscerate, delete, annihilate, disintegrate, all of the above. This guy's so overpowered, he's making me rap like I'm an Eminem. So with all of that, Colossus, the only advice I can give you is try to survive against him. But that was the most broken and overpowered character inside TD Eclipsed, or, well, the Colossus. This guy, I don't care what other people say, is way too powerful for his own good. He's been strong and broken in almost every single game somehow, and just needs to be deleted off of this plane of existence. Of course, I want you to comment down below who you think the strongest is, and if any of you say Lord.EXE, you're just not going to be playing this game anymore. I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you all liked and enjoyed. If I don't catch you in game, then I'll most definitely catch you next video. Later.